What's up, y'all? Will here at Schedulefly. This is another episode with a longtime Schedulefly customer or customers, Brittany Barth-Niggeman and Laurie Barth, her mother. They own Lindy's Landing up in Wakanda, Illinois, as well as Slyce Coal-Fired Pizza, which has multiple locations and soon to be franchising. Now, Lindy's Landing is going to turn 60 years old in 2 years here in 2025. 3 generations of family, incredible story, and what a great mother-daughter team Laurie and Brittany make. Fun conversation, enjoyed learning from them, listening to how they run both, a business that's going to be 60 years old here in a couple of years, as well as how they came up with Slyce Coal-Fired Pizza, rolled that out, multiple locations. Now they're going to franchise. Love their style, love their vibe, great personalities. Just had a great time talking to them. They built an incredible team of people behind them to support them. And proof's in the pudding, y'all. When you can run a business through 3 generations of family that's going to be 6 decades old here soon, you should listen to these folks. So check out this episode with Laurie Barth and Brittany Barth-Niggeman. But before we get to their episode, a quick word as I pull up my trusty sheet here from our sponsor, Pot Menu. Pot Menu is a partner of Schedulefly, and Pot Menu is all about making your day easier and your sales bigger. They will simplify your marketing operations, bring in more guests, capture customer data for personalized remarketing to keep them coming back. With one super simple to use platform that integrates with most point of sales like Toast and Square and a number of others, Pot Menu starts with a beautifully designed, easy to update, interactive menu that transforms the guest experience online. It includes a brand new website that's optimized for search engines like Google for no additional cost, automated digital marketing, online ordering, and waitlisting, and you'll never miss another call with their AI answering solution that costs as little as 47 cents an hour, plus so much more. So check out Pot Menu, y'all. Link is in the show notes. I read what they like me to say. I'll say that just from personal experience, we have a lot of mutual customers, and those customers that I've spoken to have all said great product, great people, great customer service, and great results. Check them out, and check out this episode with Laurie and Brittany. And give us a rating if you're on iTunes. We'd love that. And if you're on Spotify, give us a follow. Thanks for listening. More episodes coming soon. See ya.
Hi.
What's up, Brittany?
Hi. Sorry, I had to manually go into this Zoom link. I don't know why.
Oh, good. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Did you have a nice spring break?
We did, except for now we have summer weather. It just happened. I don't know where do you live?
I'm in North Carolina.
Okay. So yeah, for here in Illinois, I mean, we're getting our summer weather right now. So you might hear my texts going off like crazy because everyone's kind of scrambling to get everything ready so that we can maximize the nice weather.
Oh, for work. Well, cool. Well, I won't keep you long then because that's important.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I know my mom's she might log in too. I don't know. I sent her the link.
Okay.
Let me text her really quick. She is in Florida. She's a snowbird. So, there she is.
Ah,
There she is. Okay.
very cool. So both of you. Oh, this is great. This is
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
Where in Florida is she?
Cape Coral
Is that Gulf
by
Coast?
Naples. Yeah, golf. Yeah, there she is.
Oh,
Hello.
there, all the way
Sorry.
from Florida.
Mhm.
All right.
So, I was just telling Will that we're prepping for summer weather right now. So my text messages might be going crazy because everybody's kind of scrambling the next day or two to get everything ready for Wednesday. So
Okay.
I'm kind of on call because
What's the temp going to be Wednesday?
80.
Yeah.
So we
Just
went 50 to 80. That's
Yeah. And people get excited.
Yeah, it's 70 today and it's really sunny and beautiful and the kids are all off school. So
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Sounds good.
you know.
Okay, so what are we doing?
Oh, wow, this is so exciting, Brittany. Laurie, thank you all for doing this. This is
Sure.
awesome. I love your business. It's an amazing multiple generation family business. So I can't wait to hear your story. I'm very excited. How about, will y'all each please introduce yourselves?
Sure. My name's Brittany Barth-Niggeman. I am co-owners with my mom of Lindy's Landing and Slyce Coal-Fired Pizza, which we have 3 locations and about to open our 4th.
All right, Laurie.
And I'm Laurie Barth. I'm co-founder and owner with Brittany Barth-Niggeman of Lindy's Restaurant, Banquets, Marina, Beach Club, and then Slyce Coal-Fired Pizza, which we have 3 locations currently and hopefully a 4th on its way. And
What-
yeah, we're going to be franchising, so that's real exciting for us.
Oh, one more thing to ask about. This is exciting. So, well, thank you all for taking the time to do this. You know, we try to share the stories of awesome people like y'all that are in the independent restaurant business that love what you do, you're good at what you do. And clearly, you know, I love coming across a story like yours. You've got multiple generations of the family that have been involved in this business. Tell me how Lindy's Landing first got started.
Well, my 1965, my father purchased the property that was an existing like waterfront fishing hole for local people, and had a little building on it. And you know, back in those days, it really wasn't much. It evolved into, you know, a little bit of a bigger building with a bar. You know, bars on the water are always a big draw. And then he added a marina. It was small, but really gained a reputation over the decades. Actually, you know, we're a small town, Wakanda. At that time, it was less than probably 10,000, 5,000 people. So in those days, the Wakanda was the destination for staycations, basically, you know, people coming out from the city of Chicago and spending the day, because we weren't the only beach or the only public access, but it just had a resort atmosphere, and it's where the local people to the Chicago metro area would go and stop on their way to Wisconsin or some other destination. And in 2000, my father passed away, and my sisters and I inherited the business and the property. And it was, you know, again, it wasn't doing much of anything. It was more a hobby for my dad than anything. But he loved the people and loved, you know, being a part of their lives in that way. And, you know, that I think is what's been so challenging for Brittany and I, is to grow the business respectfully and maintain that family feel. And, you know, going from a business that, you know, it was negligible in the 2000, I think would be the year. 2003 is when we really got busy with adding on and growing the business. So we went from revenues that were, you know, barely 6 digits to 3 years later with Brittany committing to working together. We tripled revenues and then doubled revenues, and then, you know, built a new restaurant that was 2007. And at that point, when you do that, you have to do the business to make things work. And we've grown, took a leap of faith, and here we are today doing almost 4 million in revenue, with the place remaining virtually the same, in that it's the same philosophy, the same story, the same, you know, trying to keep that relevant, especially when there's so many new guests and people that come to Lindy's and maybe don't know how it all began, or don't know that we've been in business almost 60 years. So it's a lot of responsibility, and it's challenging most days, but we've got a great team. Brittany's a great leader. I'm more in the background as far as, I'd say chief financial officer, where she's the face of the business when it comes to operations. So, it's taken years to get to this point, to where we're feeling more comfortable, with it, but our mission remains the same, to, treat our customers with the utmost respect and great level of service, and stay relevant with, what expectations are out there in the restaurant business. It's changed so much with, COVID and all that we had to deal with, and overcoming that challenge. But I think it made us better at what we do. I think it gave us a good perspective on looking at ourselves and saying, okay, how do we navigate this? And if you're able to navigate it, then, I think those are the people like us that are still in business. And we did it with all 4 of our locations. So, so far, so good.
Amazing. Amazing. So you grew up around this. You said it was somewhat more of a hobby for your dad. Did you, is this what you wanted to do? Is it something you
No.
knew?
No.
Okay. So many people say that. That's
No. I mean, it's by default. I mean, neither Brittany nor I don't think we had, I never worked in a restaurant. I never served. I never bartended, never did anything. Brittany, I think prior to Lindy's, I don't think that she did either. I mean, she came out of college and just kind of jumped right in and helping at the time, because it was, we lost my dad. I mean, it was very challenging, very, it was a business that all the customers kind of ran the place. My dad didn't. He let them do it. So we walk into a culture that's very contrary to the way it is now. But I think it's because times have changed too. And that's Lindy's story. I mean, we've got a whole nother story with our Slyce coal-fired pizza business. And that was something that Brittany and I experienced with our many trips to Florida, and said there's nothing like this in the Chicago market. And that was in 2010. And now we're working on our 4th location, and it's just another example of identifying an opportunity and just going for it, because that's really what we did. Neither of us really, we have business backgrounds. We aren't restaurateurs in that way. We're not chefs. We're not service workers in that way. So we had no experience other than our own being a customer. I think, we just kind of learned and surrounded ourselves with good people that could teach us and help us navigate it. And so far, so good.
wow. Okay. So Brittany, you grew up in this, a little bit, but you went off to school and probably had ideas you were going to do something else.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, what happened? Yeah, no, this was like never on the radar. When we were kids, we weren't really allowed, I guess you could say. We would go down for family dinners on Sundays, but we weren't necessarily allowed, and it was kind of a bar atmosphere, so we weren't there that often. So I wouldn't say I grew up in it, but and when I went to college, was pre-med, then changed to business, big change. But anyways, and came out of college. I think my grandpa had died just previous to me graduating. And then, so I came home, I had a job lined up, but I also wanted to help with the family business. So for a while I was going to my day job, leaving at lunch, coming to help at the restaurant for lunch, going back to my day job, then coming back after work was over, going and working dinner. And I did that for a while. It was, thank goodness it was close. But then, you know, it was kind of one of those things where if it's something that we think we can make, you know, if we can make something out of it, you know, we want to give it 100%. So I did end up quitting I guess my first out of college job, my first big girl job.
What was that?
It was a financial company, and I was just kind of learning the ropes and things. I actually HR was my background. So yeah, so I ended up leaving that job and then focusing full time on Lindy's. Lindy's is seasonal. So I mean very seasonal because we are on the water. So our busiest months are June, July, August. We've kind of extended that in May, September, and sometimes October, even very busy. But going into that summer, it was just time to kind of give it 100%. So we had a kitchen probably the size of a food truck, I guess you'd say nowadays. And we had one fryer and we were pumping out like 200 fish fries a night, and people were waiting like an hour, and we made so many mistakes back then because we didn't know what we were doing. So then I ended up going back to school to get my restaurant management degree. I figured knowledge is power, right? And we weren't buying pre-cut deli meat anymore, and learned what food costing is and labor costs and all that good stuff. So we could actually, I don't know, make money eventually. So, you know, you learn the most from your mistakes, right?
Amen.
Not that we knew that they were mistakes then, but we know now. So, you know, we kind of learned in the field, and we're still here today. So it worked out.
I went to college thinking I was going to be a doctor too, and here we are. You run restaurants, I run a software business that serves restaurants.
It's almost the same thing.
Yeah. Well, that's well, gosh, y'all. What a cool, just what a cool story, and just the fact that you've got a business that you know is getting ready to celebrate 60 years is just. I mean, I tip my hat. That is so amazing. I just was in Colorado last week doing a podcast with a guy who started his pizzeria 50 years ago. And that blew me away. And here you are, you know, a couple of years away from celebrating 60. So the ability to, through all of the economic and social and cultural, just all the changes and all of the things that y'all have seen as a family, for 6 decades, to have that place still going and popular and successful is just such a really cool accomplishment. So I have the utmost respect that y'all been able to do, and to do that as a family, and to have a family business where it can get hard from one generation to the next, and finding the balance of, you know, new ideas versus what's worked. And that's amazing. And then now you've branched off. It sounds like for the last 10 or 12 years with Slyce.
Right.
So you were traveling so tell me about Slyce. You were traveling to Florida, getting this there, not seeing it there. I mean, Chicago has its own Chicago style pizza, I guess.
Chicago's like the pizza capital. I think they say they are. I don't know. Well, at least deep dish. Yeah.
But it's Chicago's like, is Chicago style like with the cheeses on the crust and then the sauces on the top, or is that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the deep dish, Chicago style deep dish. But you know, if you go, there's pizza tours in downtown Chicago, and everybody thinks of, you know, there's some of the, you know, pizza institutions came out of Chicago. So yeah, to break into that market, knowing that people are highly critical of pizza around here, it was kind of fun, actually. I got a pizza thrown at me our first day of being open. So.
Yeah. It's burnt. Well, that's what cold fire pizza is. It's all about the char.
Well,
Yeah.
tell me about coal-fired pizza. So how do we make this?
So going back to what you were asking about Florida. So we've traveled to Florida forever, my whole life probably. And there are a couple of restaurants down there that do serve coal-fired pizza. And it was something that my mom actually is like, there's nothing like this. It's delicious. Like, we should bring this back home. So, long story short, there's a building across from Lindy's that went up for sale, and we're like, this is so convenient. Let's put it here. So, that was kind of where we started. We had an idea and then we had a place to facilitate that. So that's kind of what happened. So coal-fired pizza it uses anthracite coal as its main, that's the
Fuel
heat.
source.
And we use a traditional oven that is kind of rounded, so the heat kind of keeps, sorry. I warned you I was gonna get a call.
All right, yeah, you gotta take.
That's okay. So it gets up to between 800 and 900 degrees and the pizzas actually cook within 3 minutes. But the whole thing is you keep turning the pizzas throughout the cooking process so that it's next to the coal and it kind of gives it like a bubbly char on the outside. And then the underneath is like leopard looking. So it gets that little bit of like a I don't know, like a barbecue taste, I guess you could say, or it has like a very unique taste. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not a big barbecue fan. I don't like char on most of my on my food, but I love our pizza. It has a very distinct flavor, along with just we use just the freshest ingredients. We source a lot of ingredients from Italy and we don't compromise ever. So yeah, it makes a really, really great pizza. And we make all of our dough in-house daily, so it's very, very fresh.
Get my mouth watering. So you found this building, you said it was across the street from a Wendy's, or it was?
From Lindy's, from our other restaurant. So it's like literally, I don't know, right up the street, right across the street.
I got it. Did y'all buy the building?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you own all of your buildings?
Yeah.
We have one location that we lease in Vernon Hills.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. That's a good thing to own a real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Not dealing with lease renewals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got the first Slyce open, and that obviously did well enough that you've opened 2 more since then.
We have, yes.
A third that you're working on now?
Fourth,
yeah.
A fourth, yeah, right. A fourth that you're working on now. When's that supposed to open?
July.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you're going through a franchise. Will the fourth one be yours or a franchise?
franchise will be our first franchisee.
Okay. How do you do that? Is that something y'all did in-house yourselves, or do you have a franchise company that you're working with?
We pretty much did it ourselves with our lawyers, and went through, we've tried to educate ourselves and do networking with certain organizations that are big in franchising and getting those people together, with the financial people, with the franchise sales people, if that's the route you want to take. We really didn't. This opportunity kind of happened, so it made it easy. And we're dealing with a franchisee who's done it before, and it's in a hotel, which is a departure from everything that we've done. So we're looking at this as kind of another experiment to see, because if we can be successful here, then we're hoping there's other hotel locations of the same franchise, which is a Hilton, that are going to want to put a restaurant like this in their hotel too, because it's different from anything any of the others offer. So we're pretty excited about it, and ready to go, and we'll see where it takes us.
Why do you franchise it? Like, why after the certain number that you're in, why do you decide to, in this case, franchise? And would you grow also with your own stores, or do you think your growth would all be franchises?
Yeah, I think that, Brittany and I have talked about it as we sit today. We're, as far as owner operators of other locations, not something that we really are looking to do more of. We're really going to follow the franchise model, but be very hands-on. In terms of the way that we support the franchisee, and our systems and our brand is very specific, and there's no deviation. We have to keep an eye on it if the franchisees are going to be successful. And in return, I think that, the return on that investment of time and money for us will be a quicker, we'll see a growth faster going down this road.
Okay.
And more locations, not just in the Midwest, but other parts of the country, hopefully.
Okay. You got your work cut out for you.
Yeah.
So, but it sounds like, I love you. It sounds like y'all have, you've got good business acumen. You're willing to take some calculated risks, learn as you go, not let ego get in the way, recognize when things are, you made a mistake, learn from that each time. Classic entrepreneurial mindset. And as much as you can do yourselves versus, you hire these franchise companies, it can get really expensive. And
yeah, we never even talked about that. I think that we just happened to meet the right people that gave us leads on how to handle this. And our attorneys were really good at putting it together. So, the rest of it is our own in-house development of, all the processes and for a franchisee anyway, like from start to finish, how to run that business, and from training to menu to cooking, because it is a specific, it's not like somebody can come in from a line of a restaurant at some other well-known restaurant and just pick it up. I mean, you got to learn it. It's a different way to cook. And so the training's pretty extensive, but our management group is very committed and helping in every way to put together a good program for anybody that would be interested and have a great location for one of our brand restaurants.
Tell me what has made, you mentioned, COVID made y'all better in some ways.
I laughed a little bit when she said that, but I guess.
Well, I mean, I hear that a lot. I think it made a lot of people, I think it accelerated, the list of things that were on people's minds that needed to get done at some point, that you kind of got backed into having to make that happen. But I'm curious if that's what you all saw, or if it was something different.
I think for us, I mean, I think we were lucky enough to be doing some things already that I know some people are trying to catch up on. We have 3 pizza restaurants. Their pizza was a pretty good seller during COVID, so that very helpful. And we obviously had to change our model to carry out for a very long time. But we had already implemented, third-party ordering and delivery and all of that. So we were really lucky, because I think a lot of places were scrambled to get that done
For sure.
during COVID. But we had already implemented that. We did take that as an opportunity to upgrade our POS systems and things of that nature to get us a little bit, kind of as a lot of things, the restaurant industry definitely changed a lot after COVID. I think, number one, people are now used to making reservations a lot more than they were prior to. I think people are more used to, a lot of more people are carrying out and getting delivery than they did prior to COVID. And then I think the restaurant, the hours changed, just we used to be crazy through 10, 11 p.m. And I think people started eating a little bit earlier. So we're seeing that. I think our hours are extending a little bit more now, but before it was 5 to 7. And we're we always were busy till 10. But I think now that's all kind of coming back. And then also just staffing wise, that was probably the toughest part coming out of COVID was, it was we were at the point where you're breathing and you have a pulse, we'll hire you. Because finding qualified people was so difficult. A lot of people left the industry altogether. And I think now we're finally coming out of that, where we're getting people that actually have experience and because that, I mean, I will tell you, that was probably took the biggest toll on us during COVID was the staffing lack thereof of, you know, people with any kind of experience, or just, you know, you knew they weren't going to stay very long, the ones that you did have. And it was so painful that, I mean, the amount of people that we trained and then they left 3 months later, and it was a very expensive and time consuming process. So this year at least, I mean, we are pretty well staffed going into our, you know, the summer for us is we always hire more, and we're lucky enough to have a lot of people coming back from college, and we should have minimal training this year, which I'm really excited about. Which is a really great thing. Because not only does that mean that, you know, we've got really good people and they're coming back and they like working for us. That's a compliment. I take it as a compliment, but also, you know, we've established some pretty awesome training that we are going to be utilizing this year. So hopefully that will, you know, better prepare people for the job and, you know, kind of make it easier on us as far as training goes, because that's probably one of the hardest things as well as the training process.
What do you mean you're going to use tell me about the training you're using.
So it's called LMS, Learning Management System. So we basically put all of our training kind of on a online platform. So they can either do it at home, or they're going to do it in-house, you know, just kind of as we go through the training process. This is what you have to, this is what the schedule is, so that they watch certain videos, or there's, you know, online testing, things like that, so that you know, some of our kids are away at college can get that out of the way before they even come back and they're ready to go. But it also is going to help with our franchisees so that they can easily train their staff, and everybody hears the same thing. They're getting the same training, so nothing is missed, and we can ensure that it's consistent.
What company is it that you're using?
What is the name of it? We went through so many. Our HR directors, and then we have a training manager that's doing, is it Absorb?
Absorb, yes. I was going to say, it starts with an A. Absorb.
They focus on restaurant training, or is it?
I think that they do it for a lot of different industries, but I think that was the one we interviewed like 4 or 5 different ones. And it's probably the more expensive one, but for what we needed it for, it worked out well for us. So
I'm hearing about a lot of these, you know, these training systems now. And I find it fascinating for y'all. I mean, we're one of, you know, my company is one of like 300 restaurant software technology, you know, tools that are available now. Like, we're in the scheduling space, but there's training, there's online ordering, there's reservations, there's this, that, and the other point of sales. I found it, I would find it frustrating, I think, to try to navigate a lot of noise to figure out the right solutions for a business. Are y'all approached constantly for people trying to sell you different tools to make your business more efficient and run better?
yes, always. But you know what? We're lucky that those tools are available. Like, let's go back to like when we were doing the Excel spreadsheet schedules, and then Schedulefly came around, and you know, it was like that was a game changer for me, at least, because, you know, even for us right now, this week we're looking at great weather, and instead of us making phone calls, we just throw a shift up on Schedulefly, and then, you know, they can pick up the shift, and it saves us a bunch of time. And it's the same with like these other tools. It's like, we always want to explore what's out there, because if it's going to help us, I know it's a lot on the front end to kind of get it going, learn it, but in the back end, it saves you so much time. And I think that the hardest part for us, you know, because we're close to 300 employees, is just making sure everybody's on the same page. Communication is key. And, you know, all of these tools help us do that.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. That is good that they're available. Do you talk to, like, when you start saying, okay, I need to solve for this problem in the business, and there's 20 different companies out there, do you talk to friends and colleagues in the industry to see what they're using, or like what's your process for trying to narrow down? So you interviewed 4 LMS, like how do you narrow down to picking those?
Just kind of what our needs are, what we were like looking for the future too, because it's like you don't want to have to change companies.
Yeah.
Because you're investing, I mean, kind of once, you're investing so much time into these different platforms that you don't want to have to switch. So, we're looking at the current and then the future and where we're going. We definitely do, talk to people who have used, like we always ask if we don't know somebody, like if we could talk to somebody else in our industry that's using that particular software. We do a lot with the National Restaurant Association. Like we always look to see, what they support. And, I think for us, we're pretty unique. So we for us to get advice from other companies, or restaurants is a little difficult because our needs are very different than others. But we always talk to our management team, to get everybody's kind of feedback and opinion, because, we want them to embrace it. So we kind of, we need.
And they have, because they have more experience at other restaurants that they've worked. So Brittany and I don't, we've the only places we've ever worked in the business is our own. So they bring a lot of wealth of information to us when it comes to making those choices. It just brought to mind when Schedulefly was hacked a few months back, and we had to kind of scramble to figure out an interim, not knowing if we were going to come back to you guys. And we did put something in place, but to speak to Brittany's point, once we find a platform, we stay with it. And I think our years with Schedulefly proves that out. And we did come back to you guys when you got back online. So that, I don't even know how many years we've been with you guys.
A lot. And that we appreciate you sticking around. That was January 1st of 2022. And it was 12 days of absolute.
That's right.
Yeah.
That sucks. I know
it's not to bring up a sore subject, but
no, it's fine.
Point is you're an online platform. It works for us. Everything about it has really stayed the same. It hasn't changed a whole lot, but it's, there's not a huge learning curve, and, it's been embraced by our companies. I mean, we use it at every location, and we will, continue to, with our franchisees, promote it to them and make it part of our manuals to say, this is, for scheduling, this is what we recommend. So we're kind of taking the guesswork out of it for people based on our own experiences, which, are proven in most cases. We've had wins, and we've, like Brittany said, we've learned by our mistakes, but technology is pretty competitive, and there's a lot out there, and I think our team does a good job of investigating what's going to work best for us, like Brittany said.
Yeah.
Well, we were very fortunate that overwhelming majority of our customers stuck around through that, because that was what was so stressful, is we knew it was so stressful for you all.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, just it gets turned off and no idea when it's going to come back on, and so we were really fortunate for that, and we appreciate that.
But then you also, like, for us, it's like, oh my gosh, like what an amazing tool that has been. That, I mean, we depend on it so much, and it's so funny. It's like when a POS system goes down, and they're like, what are we going to do? And we're like, add and subtract. Use a calculator
on a piece of paper.
And it's so funny, but it's like how far we've come from those days of having your manual cash register to now we have handhelds at every location. And, yesterday it was so funny. One of our printers wasn't working, and they're like, it's not printing. And we're like, you're just going to have to go from the handheld to the one that's on the wall, the POS on the wall, and just use the printer there. And they're like, oh, okay. It's like, you're almost like spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be so much harder.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. You get used to these things and it's hard to, I mean, we have people calling saying, do y'all know when you're going to be back on? Because we don't have a single employee who's ever actually made a schedule on anything but schedule.
Yeah.
file.
Yeah, I know. We feel for you. Things happen. It's crazy. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it's just technology, it just comes such a lot, there's just so many great tools. I mean, just in our industry alone, that has been a game changer.
Well, COVID brought a lot of that. There's a lot of needs and technology can grow and move fast. And so a lot of solutions were developed then, which is great. Like you said, a lot of times the short, acute, really painful shocks, can either break you or make you better. I mean, I know we're better for that. We're better off after COVID. We lost our whole customer base, closed overnight, and then we kind of, got back, and then the ransomware attack. We're as secure now as like a bank. Like we have so many layers of security.
Sure.
I mean, if you go overseas, anywhere outside the US or Canada, you can't even find us on the internet anymore. We have people that call and they email, they're like, I'm in Italy and I can't log in. I don't even see you. Is your website and we get their IP address, where they are on that machine right then, and open them up for a number, however many hours they need. And so, I mean, we're way, 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 way more secure than we probably even after that than we need to be. But it's like, we're so much better because of it. I sleep so well. I don't ever worry about that. So, well, okay. So now, tell me again, Laurie, where in Florida are you right now?
I'm in Southwest Florida, right by Fort Myers,
Fort Myers.
in a little town called Cape Coral, in between Sarasota and Fort Myers.
Do you spend a lot of time?
Probably, I'm back and forth a lot. So I'd say at least a good 4 months a year. I'm here off and on, and then maybe 4 to 5, just depends on the year. I'll come back for the summer for sure and be in Illinois. So it's a nice situation
It's a great
to be in.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. I bet your summers, I bet it's beautiful up where y'all are in the summertime. I'd love to come up and visit in the summertime. I don't think I'd be as interested in January or February, but although
I'm not either.
I bet that hot pizza right out of that 900-degree oven tastes pretty good up around there in the winter months for your customers. That's awesome. Look, I know you're both busy and I want to respect your time, but I appreciate your time and I appreciate your business, and thank you for sharing this story, and congratulations to both of you and to your family. The success you all have had through generations now is it's awesome. It's a great story. It's amazing to see that. I love businesses that have endured through all that. So really, really well done. And congratulations to you all for all the success.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And good luck with franchising Slyce. I can't wait to hear how all that goes.
Thank you.
Let us know if you hear of anybody that's looking for a new business to invest in. We'd love to hear from them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll stay in touch. I'll see how that goes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Have a good
Thanks.
day.
You too. Bye.